Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to another edition of Wade Watches. I'm Wade, and today I'm going to be reviewing Creed 3, directed by and starring Michael B. Jordan, as well as Jonathan Majors and Tessa Thompson. So I recently watched this for the second time in theaters, and having, been able to have seen it twice, I can say without hesitation that this is easily the best Creed movie in the franchise since the original. Not to say that Creed 2 is bad at all, but I've always been a fan of the first one directed by Ryan Coogler just a little bit more than the second one directed by his name escapes me at the moment. I can't think of his name. But anyway, I want to say Hunter S. Thompson, but anyway, um, you want to leave me a comment telling me who directed Creed 2, please feel free to, because I his name escaped me. Like I said, I think it's Hunter S. Thompson, but I cannot be sure right now. But anyway, this is for a directorial debut by actor Michael Jordan. This was a really solid movie. It's not without some flaws, but like for me personally, they're just like minor nitpicks. I really enjoyed the hell out of this, out of the third installment in the Creed franchise. It's crazy that a spin-off franchise has been pretty much this solid and this enjoyable like all around. Like there isn't a single Creed movie that has been made yet that has been bad in my opinion. And this is definitely no exception. As a matter of fact, I would say that the one thing that really makes it shine is its opponent. You know, we all know that Jonathan Majors is playing his second villain role so far this year in the form of Diamond Damian Anderson, a former childhood friend of Creed's, and now somebody who, through circumstance, becomes his opponent in the boxing ring. And Jonathan Majors played the hell out of this part, man. He really did. He killed it. So look out for more. He's definitely the next up and coming thing. And I think he's one of the best opponents in both the Rocky slash Creed franchise because unlike all of the other previous opponents that both Rocky and Adonis Creed have faced, this one is definitely the most personal. From watching the trailers that Donnie and Damien grew up together, and you know that something happened between them that made them lose contact with another, and then like one another, and then all these years later, Damien gets out of prison and they reconnect, and things happen from there. And that's never really been done with any of the other previous Rocky opponents. And again, unlike the majority of Rocky slash Creed opponents, you really do feel sorry for Damien, but he's not too sympathetic. Um, People have said it best when they say like you love him, then you hate him, then you love him, and then you hate him again. That pretty much sums up Damien in this movie in a nutshell, and it made for a really complex character study. And speaking of more complex characters, I have to say I really liked our protagonist Adonis Creed's evolution as well because in the first two movies he's definitely more of a hothead. He's definitely a bit more cocky, very sure of himself. And here he's kind of retired, more or less retired from boxing, and he's definitely a bit more humble, a bit more down to earth, and it was nice to see him kind of evolve as a character. He's not the same Adonis that we saw in one and two. He's almost a totally different person, and I love seeing that because change comes in time. You're not the same person you were in your youth. You're gonna evolve, or at least I hope you evolve, because that's usually how that's supposed to go. And I liked how in this movie he's the Adonis is the owner of his own boxing gym, and he at one point he takes a young rookie to the side and says like, "Hey, don't be so cocky. It's not all about power. Be sure to listen to your trainer and all that because and that's kind of the lesson he himself had to learn in the first two movies. So it was just nice seeing that kind of that evolution in Adonis Creed's character. Also, his relationship with Bianca, played by Tessa Thompson, is really nice. She's really good in it, and their daughter at some points was definitely a show stealer. She has kind of like a small little arc in this movie. I don't like how I don't like how it seems like they're gonna focus more on her at one point because something happens in the ASL school that she goes to, and they like spend like one scene on it, and then it never really gets addressed. They kind of come back to her, but that storyline, which seemed like it was gonna be like a little subplot, just kind of goes away after like one conversation. But she was really good, and Adonis has a really sweet relationship with his daughter, so that was well done. And again, the focus of the story, the crux, which is this movie really is all about Adonis and Damien, and their relationship together. It was done masterfully, and the situation you see in the trailers that they were childhood friends, and Damien got put away as a kid. Um, that whole situation, it's the very first scene in the movie, and then they kind of come back to it as more is revealed. It's a very complex one, and it kind of explores guilt, trauma, resentment, all sorts of themes. And it's kind of like at first there really is no clear good guy and bad guy. It kind of there kind of is like later on as more things are revealed, but at first it's kind of a complex situation, and I really appreciated that in this franchise that's famous for its boxing scenes. But it's always been true of the Rocky franchise that it's the melodrama and the character studies come first, and then the boxing comes second. That's true of all the pre-existing Rocky and Creed movies, and then this one is definitely more definitely no exception to that. And on that note, I feel like just because this is kind of a change of pace for the Adonis Creed character, who, in the first two movies, he's kind of the young rookie trying to prove himself, trying to be more than just a name, trying to be more than just the son of Apollo Creed and, the son of Rocky's best friend. He's trying to build his own legacy. So there is that journey of boxing and all these different matches involving Adonis himself in those first two movies. You don't really get that here because, like I said, Adonis Creed is retired for most of the movie, and the boxing journey that they focus on here is Damien's journey because he wants kind of what Adonis has. He feels like he's never gotten to prove himself, and Adonis, who wants to help out his childhood buddy, gives him a shot, and that's all I'll say. I don't want to, give away the whole the whole movie, but all of that is to say that this is more of Damien Jonathan Majors characters journey through boxing than Adonis. So I feel like some people will be like, "Oh, I wanted to see Creed himself, the title character, getting to a bunch of a few boxing matches and training and stuff." You don't get a lot of that here. It's still here. Don't get me wrong. Like obviously, still going to be there. They're not going to make a Creed movie without Creed himself boxing, but you don't get a lot of that. So just know that going in. And but that for me personally, it didn't bug me at all because the story here is really, really solid and engaging, and at some points, kind of heartfelt. You really do feel, emotional and sympathetic many times in this movie. So, all that being said, wrapping it up, this is another solid entry in the Creed 3 franchise. In the Creed franchise, Creed 3 is just as good as the first Creed movie, a little bit better than the second Creed movie, in my humble opinion. And I give it a solid 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed the heck out of this. I've seen it twice in theaters, and I might see it one more time in theaters before it leaves theaters. So I really enjoyed Creed 3. Go out and get it. Solid directorial debut by Michael B. Jordan. And I really want to see him make more movies. It's clear that he took some notes from Ryan Coogler, who is definitely a director who makes films that focus on character studies first and, action and spectacle second. So I definitely want to see Michael B. Jordan direct more stuff. Um, and I guess P.S. I can't really speak on the anime references. I know that's all over the internet that Michael B. Jordan was inspired by anime. I guess so. I can kind of see it. The boxing scenes are definitely different, definitely shot differently and edited differently than they are in the previous Rocky slash Creed movies, and that's also something I enjoyed. The final boxing match in particular is really cleverly done. Only I wish it were longer. There's kind of some pacing issues with it, but it did not ruin the whole movie and what they were trying to convey with that final fight. This movie as a whole is actually pretty well shot. There's one shot in particular that involves both Adonis and Damien, where they're kind of like mirroring each other's movements, and there's a lot to unpack there. So once again, 9 out of 10 for Creed 3. Really solid entrant really solid entry in this franchise. Creed is still going strong, man, and I hope to see more from both this franchise and director Michael B. Jordan. That's all for Wade Watches, and I will see you all next time.